Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning or evening or afternoon or whenever it is that you're viewing this video. Alright, so this presentation is about my product, which is actually a workbook or probably a module, whatever it is that you want to call it, because I don't really have a name for it yet. But it is actually a part of a project which I call as Narrative Interactive Stories in Improving Writing Skills, which clearly my aim is actually to improve students, especially secondary students, their upper forms. Right, before I go on with my presentation, let me first introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Azhar, and I'm currently a second to third semester student, postgraduate student in University Kebangsaan Malaysia from Faculty of Education. And I'm a part of a 3-person team, which consists of my lecturer, who is also my supervisor, her name is Dr. Azlina Aziz. She is a senior lecturer in Faculty of Education, and also a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who is a teacher in Sekolah Menengah Sains Sembrong in Kluang, Johor. So without further ado, let me just explain the background of how I come up with the idea of creating this module or the product. Actually, I come up with the idea because of the problem we currently are facing. Is because of the writing test weightage that we have in public examinations, in huge public examinations in SPM-KPSM, which is actually turning into SPM-KSSM, which is no difference in terms because it has huge marking weightage only for writing. And problem with production skill, especially in English language, even in BM as well, whereas we don't have a good, our students don't have good grasp in a production skills of language, especially in writing and also speaking. Why writing is the main problem is because writing is actually tested in SPM. Even when the new KSSM SPM test on speaking is not as huge as it is for writing. And regarding this, we also have a lot of proof to say that writing skills suffers a lot of I think alienation in terms of teaching and also examinations, in which that SPM results the analysis of it have been very consistent in saying that paper 1, which tested on writing obviously, has been a very killer for English language, because that is the huge weightage of the marks for SPM. So that teachers spend a lot of time in teaching paper 2 on helping students only to pass examinations or only to get the lowest amount of cemerlang marks. So I see this as a problem as well. And even when the product of SPM, when they go to, for example, MUET test, it is very consistent, and I have been looking at data since 2017, in which that the marks for production skills, which is writing and speaking, is consistently low. And it has a higher percentage of students who would get band 3 and below for writing examination. So what are the reasons of this? So why is production skills, especially writing, suffers a lot in terms of proficiency in the skill? It is because, and this has been very consistent from papers and anecdotal proof from as well, is that students don't have the interest to read, because you don't have any input. So how are you going to produce any output? And even with the reading materials that is already given to the students in this era, we have a problem of not many people love to read, especially the young generations, especially my generation. I'm only 33, but my generation also suffers from the lack of interest of reading, up to the point that we have campaigns after campaigns to ask people, our generation or our generation older than me or younger than me, to read, and we still have a problem with that. So what is the solutions for this? We have a lot of solutions before. We have DEAR program, which is Drop Everything and Read, a reading corner and everything, and I believe that even when the program is good, but it doesn't give a long-term impact. Hence, my product, which I don't have a name yet, but it actually aims to teach grammar through stories that is catered to students' interests and their emotion faculty, as being taught implicitly, so that the students doesn't realize that, oh my god, this is a grammar class, and this is eventually to improve their writing skills. So before we go on looking, let me describe to you the features of it. For the moment, and I plan to do more, I have currently 3 genres of the stories. I have science fiction, I have historical and fantasy, and I have romance. Why I'm doing this is because I'm putting into reader's response theory with critical literacy theory into creating this so that it caters, because we have a generation who loves movies and Korean drama, Game of Thrones or everything, you know. And then when we create a world that is similar to something that they like, and then we put themselves in, it is going to be more relatable to the readers. There are 2 very important features underlying these genres, and also the next feature is reader's response theory, in which that I put in the student's name in the stories itself. I'm going to explain how later. We are going to put the name of the students in the stories itself, and in each of the stories we have at least 25 characters. And then teachers can put students into the stories so that the students will feel that it is involving them. At first, this may seem like a superficial idea, but according to reader's response theory and according to the results that I have brought in, it shows that it is more relatable to the students when they see themselves in a world that they love to see on TV. The other features is critical literacy. Critical literacy, and when we argue the text, and I got the idea from Cinema Scene's YouTube channel actually, where they actually criticize every movies to the littlest mistakes that the movie has, or see that the movie has. So I put in a lot of inconsistency in these stories, and then I put in also comprehension questions that caters the students to actually 2 theories is actually created, it is actually ingrained in the stories, because I want the students to be involved in the stories, or involved in the writing of the stories. I'm going to explain how later. Of the stories, first is editable and printable, in which that I'm going to give soft copies to teachers where they can edit the student's name in. And then the second type is the hard copy, or even a workbook, where the teachers are not able to going to edit the student's name in, so the students are not going to be able to relate themselves. However, we still have the comprehension questions that is ingrained with critical literacy, and this still is going to make the students involved with the stories through the questions. So this is one of the examples of the stories where in each episode or chapters we have the story, and also we have the grammar item here, and also we have the comprehension question, and also grammar in isolation. It's actually the stories itself where it actually involves what the students' interest. This story I create based on a Korean series, so this is under a romance genre. So why is this actually different from the reading materials that already exist for the students? It is actually different because in KSM or KBSM books, the stories are not relatable, it's not catered to the students, and it is also seems very alienating, or probably a little bit more different from what the students like. So because these stories are also open-ended, so it gives an interactive measures to the students, in which that they have the power to actually change the story as the stories goes on. And also it caters to different levels as well, because one episode or one chapter have a lot of activities that the teachers can economize. For the advanced students, one episode could be one lesson. For the less than advanced students, one episode can be 3 to 4 lessons. I believe that this is very beneficial for the students in terms that they learn grammar implicitly without them realizing that they are learning grammar, and this will show towards the end with their results in writing. And also teachers will benefit because this is actually a new way of teaching grammar and everybody wants that. I actually have used this method last year when I was working in a school in Kluang last year. And as you can see here, this is a continuous writing marks of the students. And you can see from the colors itself that the marks is actually improving. This is after a whole year of program. You can see here that there's actually an average marks actually from 26.4 to 29. This is actually a considerable leap where the students actually change through at least 2 bands of writing marks, which means that this actually works. And especially when this class is actually extremely weak. I have 23 boys in this class and they really don't like learning. So just so you know, their SPM, almost everyone, 23 of got 8. For sure, this product needs a lot of work. I have layout problem, I have comics being ingrained into the stories as well. But as I go on, I'm going to make to create a betterment, hoping for ISIC 2 2020 to be my first platform to do just that. But just remember, I'm doing this for the sake to create a which is more realistic, and also to improve writing and English proficiency in the end. So that's all for my presentation. I hope you really enjoy it. If you have any questions or any problems or any feedback whatsoever, please do contact me through that email down there. Wait, down there. Right, okay, so that would be all. Thank you so much.